My name is Brittany Shamblin. My husband's name is Rodney, and our kids are Riley and Addison, and we've been attending Victory since December of 2016. My mom took us to church as kids every Sunday, and I developed a really strong relationship with Jesus when I was about 7 or 8. I was very secluded and kept to myself, very shy, so I spent most of my time talking with Jesus, hours upon hours a day. Around that same time, I began to experience a lot of supernatural things. I began to see things that others couldn't, hear things others couldn't. I had dreams and visions that came true, and nobody had any explanation for me of why those things happened inside the church world. So I began to seek answers outside of the church, and what that led me to was witchcraft. And I got very deeply involved in the occult. And in that time period, I also began to be heavily tormented. I was unable to sleep. I heard voices all through the night. I saw figures in my room day and night, and became very angry, very depressed, and very reclusive. So after many years of continuing this obsessiveness with the occult, I met my husband, who also joined in with the occult practices, and we began to actually seek out spirits, conjure them, and speak with them. They would do things that we asked them to do. They would answer our questions. But in that, we became very, very depressed, very angry, very depressed. I got put on medication for anxiety and depression, which in turn caused me to go from feeling every emotion to feeling no emotion. I was numb. For about 7 years, I felt nothing. Our marriage was on the verge of divorce. He was struggling with his own things. I would sleep most of the time, so we lived 2 separate lives, it felt like. I was seeing him decline, becoming suicidal, very depressed, drinking a lot of alcohol. Our kids, especially our son, began to be tormented by the same things that had tormented me my whole life. Seeing that, I began to have remembrance of my conversations with Jesus when I was a child. Even though I hadn't spoken with him in a long time, those things began to come back up to my memory. So I reached out to my mom and told her that I wanted to go to church, which made her very happy. We tried some different churches. They just weren't the right fit. And in that time, I was continuing to see our marriage crumble even more. So I cried out to the Lord. I didn't know what to do. I go to work and walk into our HR office, and one of the ladies working had a invitation card for Victory, and it caught my eye. It was very small, but it caught my eye, and I asked her if that was her church, and she invited me, and we came the next Sunday. I don't remember what Pastor Steve preached on. We sat in the very back corner, in the very back row, because I didn't want anyone to see me. And the Lord met me there. The Lord met me there. I've been set free. He set me free from fear. I struggled with fear my entire life. Even at 30 years old, I couldn't get up out of bed at night to go to the bathroom because of fear of the dark. He set me free from anxiety. I'm no longer on medication for anxiety or depression. I no longer struggle with those things. He has restored our marriage to even stronger than I ever thought it could be. I've seen my kids come to Christ. I've seen them flourish in their giftings. Victory has played a huge role. Not only is this the place that I found the Lord again, but this has been a place that has been there for me through some of the toughest times of my life, battling cancer, financial issues, I've learned so much here about the Lord, and there's just no words. that it's all going to be okay. You may have tried everything else. You may have tried the other religions. You may have tried the other practices. You may have turned to objects to seek your healing and your peace. But there's no one that can bring you that peace like Jesus. Jesus is the only way to freedom. Absolutely. Victory is unlike any other church I've ever been in. The freedom to worship the Lord in this place is not like any other church I've ever seen. The truth, the biblical truth is preached, and the power of God is felt here as soon as you walk into the building.